So we hear from a lot of people that say that they kind of avoid carbohydrates because carbohydrates can make them feel quite sluggish, low energy and laboured. So I just kind of wanted to talk about carbohydrates and energy, particularly energy throughout the day, not so much about workouts and stuff like that, more just getting you through your day and having high energy, being able to focus and concentrate. So carbohydrates are our preferred energy source, so if our body is looking for movement and exercise, it's going to go to carbohydrates before it does fat and protein. It's just easier for your body to kind of break down and utilise. That being said, a lot of people tend to overeat carbohydrates and they consume it in quantities that exceed the energy they need to feel good in a day. And it's easy to understand why people overeat carbohydrates. They tend to be kind of the common foundations of Western food. So you think like cereal in the morning, carbohydrate, sandwich at lunch, the carbohydrate in the bread, and then kind of pasta, potatoes for dinner. It's very carb focused. And the other thing to consider is the sources of carbohydrates we eat. So carbohydrates, loosely speaking, fall into two categories. You've got simple carbohydrates and complex carbohydrates. And when you eat a carbohydrate, think of it as releasing energy into your system. So you eat some food and it goes up. Now if we eat a simple carbohydrate, our body breaks that down really easily and we get all that energy really quickly. So it'll kind of peak up really aggressively. And it kind of works on a bit of a slingshot effect. So if it goes up really quickly, it also drops pretty quickly as well. And when it drops quickly, that's when we get into that kind of tired, lethargic feeling. And our energy levels are not going to be particularly great. It's going to be a lot harder to focus. And actually that makes us crave a little bit more. So we might eat something that's really simple again, that's going to shoot that right back up. So simple carbohydrates tend to be the things that we know aren't the best for us. So things like chocolate biscuits, etc. And it can set us on this vicious up and down circle. You know, you eat your biscuit, you have that little bit of energy, and then it drops down aggressively, you want another biscuit. The second category is complex carbohydrates. Now our body struggles to break these down as quickly as a simple carbohydrate. Instead, the energy from that food gets distributed a lot slower and a lot more evenly. So instead of that big spike from a simple carbohydrate, we get a much more gradual curve. And like I say, the slingshot effect might occur again, so it comes down quite gradually. We find our energy levels a lot more even throughout the day. So generally speaking, and again this doesn't apply to everyone, everyone's a bit different, you want to be eating complex carbohydrates throughout the day. This is going to keep that energy level nice and even without it spiking and plummeting. In terms of portions, you're going to kind of have to experiment with that kind of sluggish feeling, that sluggish sensation. So I'd go for a cupped handful portion of carbohydrates and take it from there. If you feel like you're getting enough energy from that, you don't need to increase it. It might be that you go up to something like 2 cupped handfuls for kind of bigger, larger people. And the other thing to consider is the quality of the sources you get. If you're getting complex carbohydrates or simple carbohydrates from heavily processed foods, they're not going to be as good for you. They're going to be a lot more taxing on your energy levels. So go for kind of simple whole food solutions. So I'm not going to tell you specifically what sources to go for. Instead, I want you to go out there and find out for yourself. Search for 3 complex carbohydrate sources that you like and prepare them, try them and see how you get on. Monitor your energy levels and get that balance right with your portions and see if you feel better. So eat your carbs, do a little bit of research and let us know how you get on.